Hello everyone, this is Dr. Nasser, and in this clip I would like to discuss reticulocytes. Reticulocytes are young red blood cells that has been recently released into the circulation. So the idea is that we know what is the normal rate of reticulocyte production in a normal person, and when a patient is presented with anemia, looking at reticulocytes percentage is going to tell us whether or not the bone marrow is responding to this anemia, which usually suggests the source of anemia is someplace else, or whether or not the marrow is not responding to the anemia, which needs to be investigated further to determine why, and usually require bone marrow biopsies. So in this case, you can see the cells are stained with another stain. They are not stained with right stain that we usually use to describe the different morphologies. This stain is new methylene blue, which has affinity toward nucleic acids and stains the remnants of RNA that are left in the cytoplasm of red blood cells at the time of maturation in the bone marrow. These RNA molecules are going to be broken down with the enzymes that are present inside of the cytoplasm, and they are not very stable and usually disappear by the 2 days post release from the bone marrow. In this case, you can see the presence of darker granules inside of the red blood cells, which is going to identify this cell as a reticulocyte. I usually consider 2 or more granules as a criteria to use to consider a cell a reticulocyte or not. So there is one reticulocyte in here. This cell appears to have one granule in here. I do not call this one reticulocyte. This is a reticulocyte. This is a reticulocyte. This cell is reticulocyte. And perhaps there is another one in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you have to count the number of the red blood cells. And in order to come up with a percentage of reticulocytes, and usually the way that we do it manually is by making 2 different slides and counting 500 red blood cell on each slide, and at the same time keeping track of the number of the reticulocytes that's present in the fields and come up with the percentage of the reticulocytes. However, today, most times, reticulocytes are batched and done very quickly and effectively by flow cytometry. However, still, it is possible that a physician decides to order that reticulocyte count, which you have to do it manually. So this is a good technique to know, and it requires patience. And basically, you're counting either 1,000 cells. If you increase the number of the cells that you count to 2,000, there will be more accuracy associated with it. And determine the percentage of reticulocytes and follow up with the results, with additional results to determine the exact cause of anemia.